Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, has recently frozen much of his Senate agenda. His reasoning behind such a move is to allow for more time for negotiations and discussions on two key pieces of legislation. The first of these is to pass a long-term budget and funding plan for the government. The second is to pass an emergency spending package to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. These two items would be combined into one large spending bill. McConnell has cited the urgency of these issues as the reason for the pause. In the meantime, McConnell has been urging Congress to pass two short-term measures. A continuing resolution would keep the government funded through the end of the year. A targeted stimulus package would provide assistance to unemployed Americans, small businesses, and other struggling individuals. McConnell has also scheduled a vote to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which could happen as soon as the end of the month. This would be accompanied by a vote on a conservative repeal and replace proposal. McConnell has also discussed the potential for other legislative action, such as providing relief to individuals affected by the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and passing legislation to address the opioid crisis. However, none of these proposals have been included in the current agenda freeze. McConnell's decision to pause legislative business has been met with criticism from Democrats. They argue that the longer the delay, the less likely it is that a budget agreement will be reached. They also point out that the longer all of this takes, the fewer options Congress will have to pass all of this before the election. They also argue that McConnell is using the pause as an excuse to avoid addressing issues that are important to many Americans, such as health care and immigration reform. McConnell has countered that his agenda freeze is more likely to help Republicans than it is to hurt them. He argues that taking the time to negotiate and discuss these important pieces of legislation will result in better outcomes. He also claims that it will give his party the time to come up with an effective strategy to win back the House. McConnell has been one of the most powerful figures in Washington for the last decade. His decisions have had a major impact on the direction of the country. His latest decision to freeze the Senate agenda has caused controversy and debate among both parties. It is still unclear how this will all play out in the weeks and months ahead. One thing is for sure though, McConnell will have to stay on top of these pressing issues if he wants to be successful.